verse 10. And I said unto you, this is still God speaking to the children of Israel. Remember, he sent the prophet. And I said unto you, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. So once again, like I said, when God sends a prophet, he's going to tell you, what's going to happen. And even here, we see that the prophet is reminding Israel of the things that God has already done. But then he's going to bring correction also. The prophet's going to bring correction also. So all of that, stuff that God did, he reminded you of who he is and what he's done. And then he tells you what the issue is, right? But ye have not obeyed my voice. So something that God has told them to do, they didn't do or weren't doing. And if we remember once again, verse 1, we said they did evil in the sight of the Lord. So it wasn't just they did something wrong. It was evil, right? Evil in the sight of the Lord. And there came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak, which is in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. So here, so the angel of the Lord came and sat under the tree, a tree that belonged to Joash, right? And his son Gideon, Joash's son Gideon, was in the wine press threshing wheat, all right, to hide it from the Midianites. So remember earlier in the verses we said the Midianites said they would come, stay for a while, and basically destroy the land. And even think about that, I think about like all the dogs around here. And like they go into the bathroom in area all over the place out here. Like you couldn't dare go out here and walk around in the grass with your shoes on or have a picnic or anything like that, because there's so many dogs around here. So think about how that land is basically ruined. So this is basically the same thing. You got this swarm of people coming with their camels, right, to this land. And then here's Gideon will come into the land and basically destroy. They don't care, to leave any ground, like fallow ground or something like that. They don't care about any of that. They're coming to destroy. That's what it already said that. The Bible already said that they came to destroy. So they weren't coming in peace. Please give us some food. No, we're coming, we're taking everything. If you're able to plant again next year, so be it. If not, also, so be it. All right. So Gideon threshed wheat. So basically he was taking the seeds of the wheat from the plant, from the what's it called, the chaff for the wheat, right? So, but he was doing it in the wine press. So I'm reading that, I'm like, good grief. Gideon probably was in there holding on, barely hanging on to life, right? Because think about it. You usually thresh wheat like in an open place, like on a mountaintop, right? Because you throwing this stuff in the air and the chaff is being released and the heavy seed is falling to the ground. And the chaff is supposed to be blown away by the wind. I was like, Gideon probably was in there fighting for his life, but he's still trying to hide. He fighting for his life in more than one way. It's threshing the wheat in a wine press or in an enclosed place, right? And then he's also trying to hide it from the Midianites. So he's fighting for his life in the short term and in the long term. Then it says here, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. I thought this verse here was very ironic in the fact that the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. Like he's hiding like that's their state right now. The being of these people right now, they're in hiding. They're not roaming around freely doing anything. He's in a wine press threshing wheat, right? Throwing wheat into the chaff, into the air that are supposed to blow away, because you're supposed to do it in an open place, right? And he's doing that to keep the wheat from the Midianites, to hide it from the Midianites. So, but here he's called a man of valor. So a man of valor, you know, you're looking at him being strong and mighty, brave, you know, and what he's doing. But here he's hiding. Here he is hiding, found hiding, and then presented to us first in hiding, but called a man of valor. So I think that to me goes back to our opening verse, you know, where I was saying that the Lord said, I called you by your name, you know, you are mine. So he sees you one way. Like I said, that God nature inside you, that God seed inside of you, that Christ inside of you, right? He sees you one way. So he only looks at you and calls you the things that he said about you. So what you have to say about you, that doesn't line up with what God has said about you. What someone else has said about you that doesn't line up with the things that God has said about you, the names that he has called you, he doesn't see that. He doesn't see that. He just sees what he made, like in Genesis, like what it said. You know, the Lord God looked at everything that he made. He said it was good. He said it was good. So I just thought that was ironic. I thought that was like profound. Like here, he's hiding, you know, hiding to have some food. So I'm even thinking like his mental state, like he probably wasn't even feeling strong, you know, or brave in his mind, you know, in his spirit. He probably was spiritually defeated too. Who knows, really? I'm really thinking about that too, because in the beginning, you know, in the opening verses, you know, it said they did evil in the sight of the Lord. So probably thought he was right in what he was doing. Well, actually, it said they cried unto the Lord too. So they were feeling defeated. They were feeling defeated. You did evil, got so bad to the point you had to call on the Lord. And then here, the angel of the Lord appears unto you and calls you a mighty man of valor. Verse 13. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Well, see, this is what happens, you know, when stuff happens in your life. It's like you forget all the wrong you did, right? And like I said, this wasn't just a one-time thing. Oh, I did something wrong. This is how they were living. You know, when it said they did evil in the sight of the Lord, it wasn't like a one-time thing. It was like they had taken on the culture, or basically, I'm going to say even the nature of the surrounding people. So they didn't look any different than the people around them. I'm talking about in lifestyle, in their actions, in their words, and in their thoughts, and in their deeds. You know, the things that they were doing. They weren't separate. You know, and God's people are supposed to be separate, supposed to be set apart for God. For God, right? So he forgot all that. That's what I'm hearing right here, right? Even, you know, like my mentor always talks about all the time, every morning when we go to trade, for trading, he always says, you know, oh, you know, people, you know, texting him, calling him, emailing him, you know, saying, you know, oh, they can't trade, they can't do this, they can't do that. He said, you don't even talk to them about trading. He said, he started asking them, what's going on in your life? Right? Because the trading is more psychological than it is the actual trade. Because once you know how to trade, you know how to trade. Right? So it's when you're not focused, right? You're spending all your time watching TV, on social media, in you know the latest celebrity gossip and all this kind of stuff. Then you're not focused. Your mind is in too many places. Right? And they never take ownership of it. It's always something else. The market is manipulated. The market is this, the market is that. But it's everything except you're divided. Your attention is divided. Right? Or even here, you know, if the Lord be with us, then why is all this befalling us? Well, if we read on, it's very clear. It's very evident the things that they were doing, you know, in Israel, and why it appeared that God was not with them. All right. And here, basically, I just see him speaking very sarcastically, like, where are all the miracles, that our fathers told us about? Well, even your fathers, they should have told you that part of the story too. They did evil in the sight of the Lord too. And they went into bondage. So all the time, every time, when things start going not like you wanted, not according to your plan, you might need to stop and take a look and see, what have you done? What was I supposed to be doing? What shortcut did I take that God didn't tell me to take? Right? Or even long route, when God said go short, he said go left, I went right, right, or whatever. We all got to stop and take a look at what's going on. Am I suffering for righteousness' sake, or is this my own doing? And I think, we all look closely and listen, we'll find something. We'll find somewhere where we missed it, right? Where we did what we wanted to do. And even, going as far as seeking counsel on things, hearing someone else, looking at someone else, when God already told you either yes or no, you went and heard somebody else that was in agreement with what you wanted to do anyway. So you went and did it, right? Because that's what you wanted to do. So here he delivered them into the hands of the Midianites. And the Lord looked upon him, and said, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? So once again, very powerful. I feel like this is a very powerful verse here. Because it is Lord here, and it's all capital letters. So that's when we know that it is God speaking. And even, this verse is believed to be, historians or, theologians or whatever, believe that this is Christ actually appearing in the Old Testament. When you see this capital, all caps here. You look up here, this Lord has a capital letter, but is the rest of them are lowercase, meaning like not God himself, right? But then here you have the all caps. So it's usually referring to God himself, right? So, and he said, go in this thy might. So God speaking to Gideon, telling him, go. If we remember, when Gideon came on the scene, he's hiding from somebody, right? And then he's speaking here in verse 13, with a little bit of venom in his voice. Where is God? All these miracles, the Midianites, they on our necks. Where is he? But then here, once again, God is talking about Gideon, how he sees Gideon, not about anything that's going on with Gideon, but just how he sees Gideon. All right, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of Midianites. And then he gives them that boost of confidence. Have not I sent thee? So yeah, that's me still. That's me still. All them stories you heard, that was me. That's still me, right? And now I'm sending you, mighty man of valor. That's what he called him, mighty man of valor.